I think it's time to take an inner mind communication view and apply it to some current news. And our hero, John Stewart, is saying some important things here.
Capitulation. Senator Schumer just felt like this wasn't the moment for Democrats to press their case because Trump is still too strong.
When he went below 40% in the polls, the Republican legislators started working with us. He was at 51, he's now at 48. We're going to keep at it, keep at it, keep at it until he goes below 40. When it happens, I am hopeful that our Republican colleagues will resume working with us.
You're gonna keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. At what? This was it. This was the it that you would have been keeping at. The keeping of the it. It's not the keeping of the it. That's the issue. It's what the it. Don't you have to start it to keep at it? If this wasn't it, what is it if this not be it? But apparently the grand plan is Dems keep fecklessly complaining until the 48 approval comes down to 40, which is a plan, but it's forgetting one crucial piece of information in Schumer's popularity calculation.
Devastating, cascading poll numbers for Democrats. Only 27% of voters have a positive view of the party, the lowest favorability rating in the history of NBC's polling.
Okay. We've got a lot of dancing around real threats to the principle of empathy in our communications. Where's the empathy with the working class and, the poor? Where is the empathy with minorities? People in desperate need. Where is the empathy that gives us a sense that the world is one and that we do need USAID to keep disease from coming here? And so often the caring thing is the right thing. Here was an opportunity for Democrats to do the caring thing, just to kill a bill that hurt the middle class that they were complaining about. Where's the empathy? I really wonder. That's why we have a Democratic Party at 27% approval. You know, this is not good. So, and why? Because, as I keep saying again and again and again, we have to fight for the things that permit and allow the better communication in terms of meeting human need, which involves forms of empathy, objective, creative, and compassionate. Objectively, I see no reason why they're waiting for a collapse to 40% approval rating of Trump in order to stand up for the middle class. Now, could be that they're wanting to see Trump wreck himself, and so that the people will finally see just how bad things are with leadership that is totally lacking in compassion for other countries, anybody different, and anybody who's marginalized in society. All of that lack of love, all that lack of empathy comes back to us. And it hurts economies around the world. It hurts the real needs that we have around the world. Another thing that I've noticed recently, that there's this guy who says he used to be a Democrat, and but now he says he's no party, and he's against NATO. He's, and he argues that that peace can be had, and that we should honor some kind of commitment to Russia after World War II. That democracy should not expand. Democracy is a necessary element in having human rights and better empathy. These forms of empathy make things more efficient and more caring and more capable, but they depend on democratic freedoms. Otherwise, you have addictions, addicted people, sick on power, taking over. And we're not seeing the House, especially the cowardly Republicans, standing up for a division of powers, which is the only way to keep power-mongering in check. And back to this fellow that's against NATO. He's blaming every war on the United States. It's insane. And he's arguing so eloquently that the best way is peace, and the Ukraine should not have expanded, and that's the cause of the war. And no, it's the expansion of democracy. If we don't stand up to people like Putin, that sickness takes over. So it's not all about being passive in inner mind communication philosophy. Saying loving things all the time. When there's sharks coming at your boat, you got to defend the boat. You might have to kill a few sharks. Love is something that needs defending, and the defense of democracy is no vice. In And people who try to argue that it is, and try to call it empire building, that's insane. That's just insane. And I'm so proud of Europe standing up against the aggression against Ukraine. You have Trump calling Zelensky a dictator. He was elected, and not with a rigged voting system, and with the free press going, right? But Putin, well, he doesn't mention him. It was unbelievable, the bullying that the president, our president and vice president did to Zelensky. A true hero. Just awful. But this guy, please subscribe to his channel, The Daily Show, because this guy is brilliant, and you need to watch this whole show. Okay. Try to leave a link for this show in the description of this video, and yeah, we need to get on the phones, people. Get on the phones and call Chucky and tell him that was a mistake. You know, Robert Reich has said that every time the crazy right, takes a step into the rights and the privileges and the opportunities of the middle class and the poor, it's time to go to the middle. And now the middle is what? Between democracy and an oligarchy? Really? You wonder where the military is in all of this. Where is their allegiance? In a democratic nation, when the president goes rogue, totally against democratic principles, and when they've planted people in the Supreme Court that promote wrong things. Where's the military in this, I wonder? Where's the FBI and the CIA? Are they obeying this would-be traitor? And would-be, in times of war, he would be called a traitor. I think he fully fulfills the spirit of a dictator now. But being for democracy is no vice. Don't allow anybody to tell you that it is. And running to the middle, that's not the answer. Stand for something. Democratic Party, stand up for something. I supported as a precinct chair in the Democratic Party, Collin County, for Bernie Sanders twice. And what did I see? That same argument of move to the center, don't dare to be truly liberal, and look Look at where we've gone. Sometimes along the way you have to take a beating, and then you get up and you keep going. You don't move to the middle and compromise with the worst. The more you compromise with the worst in the country, in terms of greed, power-mongering, the more you abandon democracy. So, this is inner mind communication philosophy perspective. And it is entirely in line with the support for democracy. A republic, they say, well, in general, people refer to republics as democratic. Okay, it's a practical thing. It's what is required to make democracy work. So, this is the whole point of this channel, is to get people to understand the deep significance of empathy and awareness of need and feeling to a better world. And we may discuss any number of things, but right now, with the democracy itself at threat, inner mind communication philosophy says, defend, defend. And so that's what we're trying to do. For those of us who love the personal practices and things attached to inner mind communication, wonderful. And we hope that in the future, when we have more Zoom calls, and that you will be a voice on our channel. It's not my intention for my face to be here all the time. This should be a show. It should be the channel for the people. Where are the people? If you don't subscribe to this channel, you don't help build it up. It's going to be really hard for me to get the people onto the channel. And interviews, exploring how to create a more empathetic and caring world. So, and we need new creative ideas. We need new voices. For one thing, my friends, I'll be 72 years old soon. I'm not going to be around for a while. What's important is the principle of this channel, that we need more empathy, more caring in our world, that this requires defense of democracy. So you get all confused. Is it a channel about, art? Is it a channel about politics? Is it a channel about personal growth? It's a core understanding that empathy and awareness and attached to need through objectivity, creativity, and compassion are at the root of our virtues. So you say, well, is it religious? No, it's a spiritual channel. Whatever religion you have, that's fine. But this is a spirituality that has to do with, not with belief in things that nobody can prove, but a faith and a practice that actually helps virtue to grow. And so, guess what? We might have a guest on here, I hope, one day that's into brain research. I've heard it in people saying, oh, the channel does not say enough about professional care in therapy. Well, scientific professional care is just fine. Please go get you some. But people love to help people who help themselves. So, the practices we talk about here for that are important. But practicing empathy within your mind, you can't grow just in your mind. You have to practice it in real life. That's what builds up that helps you to learn and to grow. And when you step into real life with your inner mind communication virtue, to whatever degree you have it, there's a chance to grow. And there's a chance to help other people. What do you think empathy means? It's not just sharing the feelings of yourself, which is amazing experience, but it's sharing the needs and the feelings of other people and trying to bring it all together. And by the way, that is the best way in order to be efficient. Doge is not efficient. Putting veterans care on a shoestring while there's billionaires running around that don't want to pay their taxes and owning yachts and how many homes and so much, and having so much money that that they could keep a family going for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. That's not right. That's not efficient. It needs to feed back into the system. They don't want to do that. They don't want competition either because they're addicted to their power. There's nothing spiritual about that. Throwing little gifts around, though, that's something that the kings used to do just to keep the rabble, from rising up with pitchforks. Well, democracy is all about the rabble. It's about you and I. It's about everybody. And the sickness of power and greed should not be allowed to turn the beacon of democracy called the United States into an oligarchy and a dictatorship with Nazi tendencies. That's sick, it's deplorable, and we've got to stand up against it. Period. So yeah, the channel's about inner mind communication, but inner mind communication depends upon a practice not just in your mind but outside of your mind. There's no point to sitting on a mountaintop and becoming enlightened. You're all by yourself. Where's the caring? Where's the empathy? You've got to come down from the mountain if you've been there and spread that love and that caring around. And when you're sitting on $1 billion, wow, that's waste. That's fat in the system. And it creates vacuums. And out of those vacuums of power and wealth rise violence. And that is no good for anybody. but defending, even with violence, democracy, that's no vice. Those who are familiar with the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna represents the inner artist that I talk about in that story. He's riding next to a warrior, Arjuna. And the whole purpose is to put down evil. Stand up for what's better and right. And as this inner artist that's up above all the drama and appreciating the whole story and yet caring, well, that's what Krishna represented. And he did not partake directly in the fight. But our dramatic selves do have to enter into the fight. So both of these characters, and read the Bhagavad Gita. These are symbolic of your dramatic self, your inner child, in fact. In terms of the part of you that's most in touch with the drama of your life, your feelings. And it's symbolic of your sense of higher self. It's a good read. I'm not supporting any particular religion here. Religions all have a core of love. Sometimes I think they stray far afield from that. The mystic approach, by the way, is that recognition of that part of you that is aware and appreciating everything in life, in your life, and encouraging greater love. That part of you having communication in various ways with the feeling you, the dramatic self, the inner child. And there are a lot of different ways to approach this. And we hope to have all of them on this channel one day. Well, as many as possible. But again, right now, the world's in crisis. If it keeps going in the direction of Trump and others like him, we're in trouble. The human race is in trouble. If we want to, if we care anything about our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids, and beyond, we can't sit by and do nothing. It's not empathetic to do nothing. So please vote. Please protest. Please stand up for what's right. Please support the Ukraine. And tell the Democratic Party to stand for the working class the way it's supposed to. The way it's supposed to. The Democratic Party should be about the working class. It claims to be, but it sells out way too often. So, what we need to do is get candidates in that challenge the status quo in the Democratic Party, and make sure that we do everything in our power to make sure that the now fallen Republican Party, the Trump Party, gets no candidates elected. So, say your wishes or your prayers or express your hopes for a better world, but do something about it. Your inner artist calls to you. Be a hero of love in the story of your life. Please do that. And remember, you're not just in a world of wonder. You're part of it. And do subscribe to this fine gentleman's
With the new Diamond Beat texture, Sherman Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less.
YouTube channel. Yeah. John Stewart, a real hero. He's not just a comic, he's a hero. And we're so glad to have him. He's what America should be about. And he's doing it in a friendly way. You know, hats off to John Stewart. Subscribe to his channel, and please subscribe to this one if you hear what I'm saying and understand. Make it your channel. Subscribe, share, and comment. That's the only way it's going to grow. And on our side, we need a bigger team, evidently, with more time. But, yeah, until next time. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain falls soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, or her hand, or its hand, wherever you see it. Maybe it's the universe. Bye-bye.